Firstly, I want to say that what Emiru went through at TwitchCon is unacceptable, and my heart is with her. It is very horrible to hear what happened to her. I've been waffling on whether or not I should comment on this because I'm a nobody, and nobody cares about me. But something Emiru stated in her announcement regarding this situation has been spinning in my mind since she said it. And that was how she said something along the lines of, if nobody had videotaped this man assaulting her, nobody would have cared. And that's the situation that I have found myself in regarding my stalker, Dooby3D, and the SamekoSaba situation. And I find it incredibly hypocritical that the same people sympathizing with her are the same people in my comment feeds gaslighting me, calling me schizophrenic, calling me a liar, just flaming me because I reported Amelia Watson and Gargura for a plot to assassinate me. It's the same people that are switching the situation and trying to villainize me for being a victim because they love Hollow Live so much. You know what I mean? Like, instead of people being like, oh my gosh, Robin, I'm so sorry that happened to you. These people are horrible, horrible people. People are like, Robin, you're a horrible person for talking about how you were sexually assaulted. And that's because of what she said, There is no videotape of me being gunned down on 2 separate occasions. And there is no videotape of me being sexually assaulted by a fan and friend. She's a friend of Belle Delphine's. There's no video evidence of her assaulting me. And so what Emiru says rings true in my mind all the time, that maybe if I had some video evidence that someone was trying to kill me, that more people would care. But since there's none, it's like Emiru said, nobody cares about me, and so I when she said that, I just couldn't help but feel like, oh my God, she's talking about me right now. I'm that person that was sexually assaulted and nobody cared. It took me 3 months of petitioning YouTube every single day on every single post they made regarding how I was sexually assaulted, how I was attacked, and how Amelia Watson, Gargura, and Sarasvana were all cracking jokes about this. And I know for a fact I've come into contact with Belle Delphine on several occasions. I know these people know who I am. I have proof that Dooby3D, when I announced this situation that I was sexually assaulted by a fan pretending to be her response to me was, keep seething until you shit yourself. That's what she said when I told her about it. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry my fans are mistreating you. I'm so sorry. And no, she went on to make jokes about the fact that I attempted suicide from the trauma that was placed on me from being a victim of nearly being murdered. And so when I see that Twitch man that assaulted Emiru only got a 30-day ban from Twitch, that's Dooby3D for me. All she got was a soft rebrand of her character. She still has millions of followers and people throwing money at her, and she's still traveling the world while I'm afraid to walk outside because I might get gunned down, So Dooby and SamekoSaba are my 30-day ban, man, All they received for making jokes about how someone is trying to kill me, how I was sexually assaulted, was a soft rebrand. And their fans hate me for saying this. Instead of sympathizing with me, they call me a liar, they call me a schizophrenic, they say I'm harassing them. But I'm telling a story about how, because of these vicious women, someone almost murdered me and put my family in trauma. But nobody cares because of a double standard. I am a man. I am certain that if I was a woman, people would be outraged that this is going on, as proved by Emiru's situation. Emiru is a beautiful, rich woman. I am a poor, homely man. Of course nobody cares about me, right? But that doesn't mean what's going on is acceptable or that I'm harassing anyone. It means that people are turning a blind eye to the monstrous nature of this streaming culture we're currently in. Because think about it. All of these streamers are incredibly sexually vicious people. I personally believe that Ms. Kiff was guilty and found innocent due to corporate greed-like circumstances, There's a lot of allegations of sexual assault and sexual abuse amongst the streaming culture that fans turn a blind eye to, Pokimane herself said believe victims, but she's hanging out with Ms. Kiff. Why doesn't she believe the Ms. Kiff victims if she's saying believe the Diddy victims, right? That's how I feel about the situation. It's like people are picking and choosing what sexual assault cases matter based on how popular and how friendly they are towards the person. You know, it's kind of similar how Asmongold has been going on and on about how what happened to Emiru is awful and thinks the situation is vile. But years ago, he was praising and joking and even voted for a man whose slogan was grab her by the pussy. So why is it okay in Asmongold's eyes for the president to sexually assault someone but not a stranger? I mean, based on what the president's own words were, this is exactly the situation he voted for. You know, he voted to grab her by the pussy, and that's what happened to her was wrong, but that's what he voted for. No doubt about that. And, you know, then there's people that are showing Emiru sympathy, that are close friends with her, that are the same people that were mocking me for being a victim of sexual abuse. And it makes me so angry. Like, the day after I was sexually assaulted by Belle Delphine, SamekoSaba's friend, I messaged Rebecca about that, Dooby3D, and I asked her to weigh in on this, and, you know, her response was keep seething and shit yourself. And then what she did to even rub salt in the wound was she invited me to her stream, where at that stream she announced she was having sex with Esfand. So why does Esfand care so much about what happened to Emiru, but he laughs and makes jokes and sexually harasses me, because I feel like I was very sexually harassed by both Dooby3D and Esfand, and all that happens to them is Dooby3D gets a soft rebrand. So why is it funny when it happens to me, but it is a tragedy when it happens to Emiru? You know, in my eyes, sexual assault is wrong no matter who you are. Even more so if you're the president of the United States of America.